At some point in our lives, we will have to face uncomfortable conversations, whether you are speaking with a parent, a child, a romantic partner, or a friend.
Yeah, these nerve-wracking talks can have a major impact on your life, and experts say that a well-thought-out approach can make all the difference. Clinical psychologist Jennifer Hartstein joins us now. Jen, what is your advice on the first step? How do we start a difficult conversation?
You start a difficult conversation with yourself, right? You have to understand why you're even having it, what you want to do, what it's about, what your goal is, because if you don't go in regulated, everything's going to go off the rails.
I love that.
And so we kind of know what we want before we even start it.
Yeah. Oh, that's such good advice. Go in regulated. Oh, I haven't heard that before. All right, let's walk through some different scenarios. Let's start with a common one. You have a friend, and maybe they're not showing up for you in the way that you need them to. How do you address that?
So really common, right? And we have to remember that we might be super skillful as we go in and not everything's going to work, right? So with our friends, we want to identify what the goal is for ourselves. We want to recognize that not everything is black and white. Maybe our friend isn't showing up because there's a whole lot of stuff going on for them that we might not know about. We also don't want to go in with like an absolute decision on what has to happen, because that kind of leaves our friend out of the conversation, right? And they need to be part of this. And we want to ask them like, hey, what's up? What's going on with you? Kind of open-ended so we can have a good combo.
And what about in the workplace? If you're dealing with a colleague or a manager, how do you sort of navigate that when there's power dynamics at stake too?
Right. And I think that's always a hard one. And I think this is a really important one to go in like, what's your goal? Really set the stage for them. Hi, I'd like to talk to you about fill in the blank so that everybody knows what's going on here. And then really be willing to negotiate. Hey, if you could do this, I can do this, and we can maybe work better together, because I think we have to be a little willing to give to get sometimes, and kind of that's what we have to do.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, what about the talk when you're not sure what's happening in the situationship? Like, what are we with the romantic partner? How do you approach that conversation?
I think that's the one we always go, hey, can we talk? And the other person is like, wow, what do we need to do, right? So like, we want to be careful, like not to just ignite anxiety out of nowhere, right? So I think it's so important to be like open-ended, be honest about what you want, right? We often go into those conversations with like, well, what do you think? But what if I want something from you? Why can't I just ask you that? You know, and I think those conversations are really hard because you might walk away not having what you want, but sometimes that's also a very important outcome of a conversation.
That clarity helps.
Yeah, I mean, look, we are in October. The holidays are coming up. We're also in a supercharged cultural, political environment. People have different beliefs and systems of beliefs. How do we navigate those sort of hot topics?
So when we're dealing with family, right, we have to remember that it starts with whoever my partner is, right? So we have to be aligned. Are we walking in with a united front? Because if I'm going to see my partner's family and he and I are not aligned, and now we're split, and now the fight is no longer with the family, it's with me and him. So what's the united front?
That's good.
Boundaries are important. And saying no, you guys, we talk about this all the time. My favorite sentence, no is a full sentence. And I don't have to appease you to make sure that I'm doing what's best for my family.
So true.
And that's a hard one.
Last question, really important. How do you know when it's time to walk away from a conversation?
So if everybody's really dysregulated and really over the top, and we're no longer listening to one another, we're really only listening to respond, so the communication has stopped, you need to kind of be like, hey, let's hit a pause on this and walk away.
I feel like we just got some free therapy. That was so helpful.
And very regulated.
Yeah, very regulated.
I like
the bill is in the mail.
Jen Hartstein, thank you so much.
All right, stay right here. You are watching NBC News Daily.